Now I remember to shut the off. So here we go. Pick one on the clock. There goes Austin Matthews, Matthew Kachuk, Connor Hellebuck. First three off the board. Chris at pick four to kind of slow the pace down a little bit here and break it up. Going from a different spot. He can't do his Makar Kaprizov build, or maybe he can.
I can, because I didn't think I'd have to make a choice here.
McDavid or McKinnon. This is why we want Yahoo, because this would never happen on Yahoo.
Oh man.
Clock's running out, my man. Takes McKinnon and Pastrnak. McDavid goes sixth. Cale Makar seventh. Philip Forsberg goes eighth. Why? Leon Draisaitl ninth. And then Brady Kachuk 10th. I'm on the clock here. Let's see what we got here.
Never would I thought I'd pass up on Connor McDavid with the opportunity to do so. That's wild.
I mean, I got to take Nikita Kucherov here, right? Like, that just sitting there.
Smart move.
And then we'll see what's available to me on the way back. Nylander, I was hoping might be on the turn, but he's not. And they take Vasilevsky. So goalies are going a little early here as we begin round two. Got two off the board. I'm not going to jump on. It pains me to do this, but I mean, he didn't play a full season last year, and I hate to skip my boy Panarin, but Kaprizov, I'll do a Kucherov Kaprizov 1-2 punch. That's not a bad way to go in a forwards only league. So that goes, and after him, Igor Shesterkin, third pick, Jake Ottinger, fourth pick, Artemi Panarin, fifth, Kyle Connor, sixth, Mikko Rantanen, seventh, and Cole Caulfield, eighth. A little early for Caulfield, nonetheless, but here we are. Chris on the clock with a decision to make. For the most part, things going appropriately, except for that whole McDavid McKinnon slide. There goes Jack Hughes. Good pick.
I just need him to stay healthy.
Macklin Celebrini goes 10th, Gustafson 11th, and then Ovechkin closes out round two. Roman Josi, Steven Stamkos, and Jake Gensel open up the third round with Chris back on the clock here. Definitely some quality options. Goalie's starting to go. Goalies are getting thin pretty early.
Goalies are starting to go, but I'm going to go back to a forward here. I'm going to take Jack Eichel.
I saw him sitting there, and I was like, "That's the pick." If you're, it's just it makes too much sense. You know exactly what you're getting out of him. He's Mr. Consistent. You know, unless he gets a big injury, you know you're going to get good production out of him. Then Weegar, Braden Point, Marchenko, JT Miller, Aiden Hill, Tim Stutzel. You know, as I gotta go forward here, and I got to take Zach Werenski. I'm a big fan of what he did last year. 23 goals. I mean, tough to overlook that. Bobrovsky and Crosby. It does cost me Bobrovsky and net. I might wait a little bit longer here for goaltender. You know, I'm looking at the forward options. I could take a Sam Reinhart, get a piece of that Panthers up front. But you know what? I'm going to double dip on the defenseman here. And I'm going to go Evan Bouchard, and I'm going to have my cornerstone defenseman be Werenski and Bouchard.
That's pretty good. It's taking one out of my playbook there.
And then followed by Adrian Kempe, Rasmus Dahlin, Sam Reinhart, Dustin Wolf, Tage Thompson, and then Darcy Kemper. So I may regret that with the goaltenders going. Chris decides to take Quinn Hughes, so he gets his first defenseman off the board there. And you kind of have to do that at that point before they get to that tier two. Jason Robertson, John Tavares, Marty Natchez close out round four. Elias Pettersson, Victor Hedman, and Clayton Keller open up the third round with Chris about to make his fifth pick.
It kind of feels weird not having any exposure to Minnesota, so let's change that.
Good old Matt Boldy, nothing wrong with that. Round five, pick four. Matt Coronado, a little early for him. Back-to-back Flames there with Nazem Kadri, Adam Fantilli, Dylan Gunther, Wyatt Johnson, Dylan Larkin, and I am on the clock. You know, I'm going to wait one. I'm going to go goalie next pick, but, you know, Mitch Marner, I want a piece of that Vegas top six. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that. I got Kucherov, Kaprizov, Marner, Werenski, Bouchard. I'm very happy with the way my team's going. Alex DeBrincat closes out the fifth round. Vinny Trocheck opens round six. I mean, yes, it's tempting to look at a guy like a Brandon Hagel, a Mark Scheifele, a Jesper Bratt, but I can't wait anymore on goaltender. And I'm going to go Mackenzie Blackwood. In a league where wins matter, you know he's going to get him. So I'll happily take that, and I'll probably pair it with a Wedgwood later. And we got Mark Scheifele, Bo Horvat, Jesper Bratt, Brandon Hagel, Jordan Kyrou, and Connor Bedard going as late as round six, pick 8 here in a 12-team mock draft. So pick 68, and Chris about to make a nice pick at 69 here.
Nice. I'll go with Stolars here. I think
Yeah.
it's decent enough. I don't love it, but I'll do it.
That was the other guy I was considering, but I prefer Blackwood there. Then Holloway.
That's who I preferred as well.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like a thorn in your
Right.
side today. Stolars, after Stolars, Dylan Holloway, Sebastian Aho, Mika Zibanejad, Moritz Sider, Pavel Dorofeev, Matvey Mishkov going in round 7. I don't know how many drafts that'll happen. Ilya Sorokin was still out there, and Chris gets him, so he shores up his goaltending situation with round 7, pick 4. Alex Tuck, Nico Hischier, he went a little late. There goes Nick Suzuki, Seth Jarvis, Brock Nelson, and John Carlson. Brings us to pick 83 and me. Let's see what we got here. Kevin Fiala, a little underwhelming for me last year. I got to look at the goalies here because getting my goalie situation short up would be nice. But I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I want to go forward here. And I'm going to take Sasha Barkov. I get a piece of that Panthers top 6. Why not, right? There goes Fiala, Lucas Raymond, and now back with me on the clock. The fact that this defenseman is still available, here we are at pick 86. Give me Adam Fox. And now you draft differently in an ESPN league versus Yahoo league. Playing 5 defensemen here, gotta be and there's very few defensemen that are going to give you that top line production. Maybe 10. So you want as many pieces of them as you could get.
I need a defenseman. You took the one I wanted, so I will go. Next best option here, Josh Morrissey. I think that's
good pick.
I think that's perfectly fair.
All right. So after I took Fox, Joey Decord, Frank Vetrano, Travis Konechny, Logan Cooley, Logan Thompson, back-to-back Logans, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Josh Morrissey, as Chris mentioned, round 8, pick 9, Ricard Raquel, Jordan Binnington, Timo Meyer wrap up round 8. Opening round 9 is Alex Laferriere, Jake Sanderson, Jackson Lacombe, JJ Paterka, good pick by Chris there, round 9, pick 4, Carter Verhaeghe, Rupe Hintz, Samuel Montembeault, Mikhail Sergachev, and Jonathan Marchessault get you through pick 106. And now I am at pick 107 on the clock here. Looking at my forward options. I like Hurdle, but I don't like to have too many guys in that same team. I could go goal here, but I'm going to push it a little bit further because I did see somebody I like here. Where'd he go? Nikolai Ehlers. I'll take that as he's going to be listen, Carolina's not going to have a ton of offense, but Ehlers is going to be a guy that contributes what they do get. Chris Kreider and Erik Karlsson. I'm kind of glad I'm drafting around this auto pick team here because they suck. They're leaving me everything I want. Let's go back to goalies here. I could go Thatcher Demko. I could go Saros because I got a guy that's going to get a lot of wins. Saros would maybe bounce out Blackwood, but score. Give me Jacob Markstrom. So that opens up. So we got Carlson opening up round 10, then Markstrom, Anders Lee, Drake Batherson, Mike Matheson, Tomas Hurdle, UC Saros, Brian Rust. Fuzzy Chris back on the clock here. Round 11, pick 11.
I'm going to start with the defenseman to have in Dallas, which is Thomas Harley. In case some people get confused.
And we'll see his ADP start going up real soon. He's not going to be a guy you're getting in the 10th round in most drafts.
No, he's not.
He's probably the top of the second tier of defensemen.
I expect this defenseman as well, his ADP to also start going up here. I don't know how he's all the way back here. I understand if you're in a league where goals are more important, makes sense, but I'm not letting Lane Hudson and his 60 some odd assists go. So
his ADP will go up because there's no way he's going to be going past probably the 7th, 8th rounds, especially in leagues where defensemen are at a premium. I will make my pick here at 131 and then recap everybody since that pick with Lane Hudson. Let's see here. I could go another defenseman. I could go another forward. You know what? Sometimes you just want to get exposure to certain, give me Matthew Knies. Let me get on that Toronto top line there. So there we go. There goes Zach Heim. So after him goes Brad Marchand and Owen Tippett. So I'm going to go defense here. It's just a matter of what I'm going to take. And maybe I'm not going to go defenseman here. Maybe I'm going to wait a little bit. Give me Robert Thomas. Boom. He racks up assists and gets points that way. In round 12, why not? Pick 130, whatever it was. So just to recap, since that Lane Hudson pick, Tom Wilson, Rasmus Anderson, Zach Hyman, Thatcher Demko, Tyler Toffoli, Jared McCann, Matthew Nyes. I got it round 11, pick 11. Brad Marchand, round 11, pick 12. Opening the 12th round, Owen Tippett, Robert Thomas. Then Mason Marchman, Andrei Svechnikov, Charlie McAvoy. Can't believe he's going that far down. Brock Faber, Chris Letang, and then Gabe Velarde. And then Chris takes Mason McTavish, round 12, pick 9. Neil Pionk and Dmitry Voronikov wrap up round 12. And Jacob Chikrin round 12. Stu Skinner and Seth Jones open up round 13. There goes Brock Besser. That's a good value pick in round 13 with Chris on the clock for pick 148.
Take one out of your playbook now. We'll go with William Eklund.
Getting one of my Sharks, one of my guys, then Darnell Nurse, Sam Bennett, Marco Rossi, Colton Parayko, Brian O'Reilly, Fabian Zetterlund, former Shark, and I'm on the clock here. So it's been a while since I've taken a defenseman. I think I got to go in that direction. I mean, I'm concerned about his health, but when the guy plays, he produces. Give me Dougie Hamilton. We're already, in the 13th round, up at pick 158. Miro Heiskanen goes after him, and then Jonathan Huberdeau. I'm back on the clock here. There's a guy I want at defense, but I think I could wait for him to get back to me. It's really no. You know what? Give me Will Smith. It's a little, at this point, you got to start going for the guys you want. We're in round 14, and I like the way he looked as a rookie. I think he'll have a strong second season there. The Sharks.
I mean, we talked about the Islanders a little bit earlier, and whatever they're going to offer, but someone's got to score goals. So I'll take Barzal here.
And then Evander Kane, Barrett Hayton, Kyle Palmieri, another Islander, Lucas Dostal, then Zach Bolduc, Morgan Riley, and Chris back on the clock here.
I need a defenseman. I'm going to go back to the pool in Vegas. I did this in one of the mock drafts earlier, and I felt good about it. So I'm going to take Noah Hannafin here.
For a depth, for a guy that's going to play 4th, 5th defenseman, I love that. Gustav Forsling, Jake Wallman, Matthew Olivier, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jake DeBrusque, and then Matt Duchesne go. All right. There's a guy I think I've gotten in every draft, and I'm going to keep doing it as long as he's there for me, especially this late. Give me Devin Taves as my 5th defenseman. There goes Dylan Cousins and Nick Schmaltz. And then, my Chris's adopted team in the Central is the Minnesota Wild. Mine is the St. Louis Blues for this season. And give me a little share of that top line with Pavel Buchnevich. Drew Doughty, Brady Shea, Linus Olmark, Kiefer Sherwood, as we are in the middle of round 16, Keandre Miller. His ADP will probably go up soon. There goes Braden Shen. Speaking of Blues, with Chris on the clock here at pick 189, 16th round.
I'm gonna take a goalie here. I need a third one. We talked about Columbus earlier and whatever they're gonna give us, but it's gonna lie on the shoulders of Jet Greaves. So we'll start there.
So Chris gets him at 16-9. Then goes Sean Dursey, Anthony Cirelli, Eli Tolvanen, Elias Lindholm, Jacob Trouba, and Kent Johnson all go. Chris back on the clock here with his 17th pick.
I have one former rookie of the year on my team. I will have the next rookie of the year on my team as well. We're getting to that point in the draft.
So there we go. He's got Demidov. Another guy. That's a guy who's been getting in every draft, and he's another one whose ADP will start going up. Tristan Jarry, Elvis Merzlikins, Aiden Gould, Ryan Donato, Adam Larson, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So I get sniped because that's who I was taking on the turn, or when it got back to me. Alas, that did not happen. Still gotta have a bench defenseman. I know there's some decent forwards out there, but I'm gonna make sure I get a share of that Vegas blue line too. Give me Shea Theodore.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was my other pick. If it wasn't going to be Hannafin, I just feel like maybe at some point he'll take over.
All right. I'm going to wait on goalie another round at least here. Blake Coleman and Brant Clark go. And now I'm trying to see if I could find, this is where you try to find, some guys that are hiding in the rankings here. I got 5 seconds to make a decision. Fine, give me Slafkovsky. Why not? Let me have a little Montreal. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Matt Zuccarello, Simon Edvinsson, John Gibson, Warren Fogle, and Morgan Geekie will go with Chris back on the clock here at pick 213.
I mean, he's still in Vegas. We'll see how his back holds up this year, but as long as he keeps getting his epidurals, he should be fine.
There you go. Mark Stone in the 18th round. Why not? Lawson Krause, Joseph Wall, Brent Burns, Jared Spurgeon, Logan Stankoven, and Matthias Michelli will go.
I think I've had 100% exposure to this next player, and I'm okay with it.
And Nichushkin is one of your guys you go to a lot. I was thinking about Michelli, but I don't want to have Michelli and Nyes in a situation where I got to play, pick, because then I get in a spot where I got to pick one. I don't like to do that if I'm just trying to coattail ride somebody else on the line, like I am with Austin Matthews there. All right, so I need I have my depth defenseman there. It's important to get some forward. Give me Quentin Byfield. He's a guy I've been targeting in a lot of drafts. He's probably not going to go that late. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen goes, close out round 19. Jake Neighbors, guy I liked last year, opens up round 20. So let's see. I got 3 bench spots left. Probably want to get one more forward. Got to get a goalie. Is there anybody sneaky on me that I would love to get here? Anybody hiding? You know what? Why not? Capo Caco, full season in Seattle. See what happens. He's out of the Rangers. That's all behind him. He's playing loose and free. They used him the right way. Why not? Take a stab.
Speaking of loose and free, taking his former teammate and hoping he'll see some power play time. Maybe this is the year for Alexi Lafreniere.
How is he going in the 20th round? How am I forgetting about him that far? Round 20, pick 9 there. Then Sean Monahan, Cole Perfetti, Tyler Bertuzzi, Jaden Schwartz, Cam York, Chris back on the clock here.
A lot of leagues reward you for power play points. A lot of leagues reward you for goals. I'm going to take a player who does both of those in Patrick Laine.
And that's another thing, too. If you're having a tough time deciding, who should I take here at some of these depth, sometimes I'll just go to power play points. Who had the most and, what position you need? Because if they're going to get power play time, they're at least going to contribute in that spot, at least if nowhere else. No defenseman I really like here. So, yes, I could go with Jeremy Swayman or an Askarov, but, I'm just going to play it smart here. Give me Jake Allen. Give me the goalie handcuff. We know the Devils are going to play both of them. Now I know I have that whole crease. There goes Alexander Romanov and Justin Falk. So I've got one spot left here. I'm going to grab another forward. You got to have some depth in this league. I'm tempted by Granlund because he plays in all situations. I'm trying to see if there's maybe a long shot that I can take a stab on. You know what? He's going to be playing on that top line. We talked about him a little bit while ago. Give me Jonathan Drouin. Why not? Got me on the Islanders a little bit today. You got me feeling them a little. So for a last pick in the 22nd round, sure. Give me Jonathan Drouin.
Look at us feeling the Islanders. I'm going to stick right with the Islanders. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why it happened. I didn't want it to happen, but it did. I think he's making the team. I don't think he's going back. I don't think he's going back to college, and I don't see anybody else quarterbacking that. I know the power play was absolutely miserable, but I feel like at some point it's got to turn around, and pure skill on the back end will do that. So I'll take Schaefer here and hope that works out. If it doesn't, well,
for a last, he'll probably start going in rounds before then. Nonetheless, right? Yeah, for a last round pick, that's a great. I love that. That's for him to not make the team, like we said towards the top of the show, he would have to have a miserable camp. I know defensemen don't always make the team. Even top, but there's no expectations on the Islanders, so I think it's fine to have him do that and just let him take his lumps and learn.
They have no offensive threat from the back end. Tony DeAngelo was playing in Russia at this time last year, so somebody's got to take over. I know the power play was horrible, but it can only go up, right? So
now let's do a little draft recap here. Looking at the way the draft started, the fact that Tkachuk went second, Hellebuck went third, the fact that McKinnon fell into your lap at 4, the fact that McDavid went 6 was a little crazy. And then Forsberg at 8 was a bit of a reach. But then, the draft started to kind of reset itself here in the back end of the first round. Guys going where they belong. Kucherov is sitting there, pick 11th overall. I was torn between him and Nylander, but I'm glad I took Kucherov. And then I get Kaprizov on the way back. Great cornerstone there. We talked about 5 defensemen in this league, and when they go, they go. So the fact that I go Wierenski and then get Bouchard coming on the next turn there, great. Marner, Blackwood, Barkov. I'm just building my team steadily. Adam Fox still sitting there. Sorry to snipe Chris because I know he was going to grab him there. Later in the round when he took Josh Morrissey. And he had I not taken him, he probably would have gotten him because no other defensemen were taken. And then I got Ehlers there in the 9th round. I think that's an appropriate spot for him. I think before that might be a little bit of a reach. You'll probably see people trying to get him earlier in drafts. So if you really want him, pay the price. But in those 8th, 9th, 10th rounds, 7th is probably a reach, but 8, 9, 10 is fine for Ehlers. Got my second goalie with Markstrom there in the 10th round, and then of course I backed it up in my penultimate pick with Jake Allen. That's a hand that was our top handcuff. If you're gonna handcuff your goalies, you get Markstrom. I gotta get Allen. Gotta. Nyes, Robert Thomas. At this point, you're getting your lower forwards that are still starting there. Your 6th, 7th, 8th forwards. Dougie Hamilton, like I spoke about when I made the pick, if he stays healthy, great. But that's always a concern. Devin Taves is a guy I'm trying to get in every draft. If he's around in the 15th round, what are you doing? Got to take him. Then Buchnevich, Theodore, Slavkovsky, probably the only pick I didn't love. Kind of clock ran out on me. I don't mind it. Guys that went after that, I could have maybe grabbed the Troy Terry, Patrick Kane. I'm actually okay with it. There's really nobody I missed out on, so I'm fine with Slav. And then, there's, like we said, the back part of the draft is where you take your shots. This is where you try and get the guys that maybe are a little more, not to say boom or bust, but they have a high ceiling, like a Capo Caco, full season in Seattle. Ranger stuff is behind him. Jonathan Drouin, we talked about being a nice fit for the Islanders. Is he a guy going to lean on heavily? No, but on a night where the Islanders are one of 4 teams playing, I don't mind having that in my lineup.
No, you put together a very, very solid team. Very solid. You've been doing your homework. I like that.
I'm starting to itch for actual positions, though. That's where that's where the strategy and stuff comes in with the centers, left wings, and right wings. But don't have that option available to us yet. But hey, there are plenty of people that play forward defense, so these mocks are all for you, and we hope you help. Now let's take a look at Chris's team here. Slide it back down. Take us through your draft with McKinnon falling into your lap at pick 4.
I didn't think I would pass on Connor McDavid, but here I am. McKinnon's just going to play a bunch. You know what you're going to get. He shoots the puck a ton. He scores. I'm not saying that Connor McDavid doesn't in no way, shape, or form. I just think that maybe the gap between McDavid and McKinnon isn't as big as it was in previous years. And I think Colorado's just going to keep rolling those guys out. The supporting cast is still pretty good. The return of Gabriel Landeskog as well probably helps as well. I know he's got no Mikko Rantanen next to him, but I think he's going to be just fine without him. So I was okay with that there. That it was going, Jack Hughes, I know we talk about his injuries and whatnot, but if he stays healthy, I think he could flirt with 100 points. Jack Eichel, same conversation. You bring in Mitch Marner, 100 points on his end. He could only make Jack Eichel better. Quinn Hughes is a gift that keeps on giving. Maybe he just goes crazy and, racks up 82 points in 82 games. It wouldn't be too shabby. Matt Boldy loves to score goals. He is not Kirill Kaprizov, but he's the next best thing there. Anthony Stolarz and Ilya Sorokin. I wanted to get my goaltending kind of figured out at that point. Stolarz, I expect, is going to start. He was the better goalie last year for a large period of time. Sorokin is just, again, we talk about the Islanders, and they're going to be boring, but Sorokin is elite. The problem is his team is not. So maybe I'm not going to get as many wins, but this was a goalie that was going top 3 in drafts less than 2 years ago. Like top 3 goalie. Even. Yeah. So for me to get him at a discount here and seeing the names that started to go, I'm perfectly happy with taking him there. Josh Morrissey, just because I couldn't take the defense, but I wanted, but that's fine. Josh Morrissey is going to lead the Winnipeg Jets on their power play. JJ Peterka is going to a Utah team that is all gas, no brakes. Sign me up. And then we went to some defensemen with high upside. Thomas Harley. Not going to take anything away from Miro Heiskanen. I think Miro Heiskanen is a really good real-life defenseman. I don't know if he's going to get as many points. I need Thomas Harley to be on that top unit, though. That's what I need from him. And I think with his play at the Four Nations and how he played like down the stretch without Heiskanen, there is some upside to his game there. So I'm comfortable with him there. Lane Hudson, no explanation needed. You know exactly why Lane Hudson is there. I can't believe 60 assists.
He's not going to be in round 11.
60 assists in the 11th round of a 12-teamer. That's absolutely comical. Mason McTavish, I know he's unsigned yet. My hope is that he's out of Anaheim, that there's an offer sheet or a trade or something happens, get him out of Anaheim. And I think that'll be just fine. William Eklund, I expect him to play on the Sharks top line. I would like him to play next to Celebrini. That would be fun. That's where I want him to be. It kind of brings his value up. The same thing with Barzell. I want him to play on the top line with Horvat. That would be ideal. I want these guys to see elevated minutes, top power play unit kind of things, even though they play on bad teams. If they're there, good things are probably going to happen. So I'm fine with it. Noah Hannafin, again, Vegas is going to be good. I just need him to be on that top unit. That would be fantastic if he could be there. Jet Greaves, again, I don't know what we're going to get out of Columbus, but the quicker they start him and let him run, the better it's probably going to be. Ivan Demidov is elite. You'll find out if you don't know. Mark Stone, a guy who's going to play in the top 6, right? He's not the focal point anymore of the offense. Maybe he's more of a contributor. Maybe he's a secondary guy. But I think on such a good team like this, he could flirt with 70 points, health being the most important thing for him. Valery Nichushkin, the same thing. Mikko Rantanen is not there. They didn't necessarily go out and acquire like a high-end winger to play there. Yes, Gabriel Landeskog comes back, but he hasn't played meaningful hockey in so long. It was so great to see him come back and play the way he did. But Valery Nichushkin has a spot on Colorado's top power play unit, which is what I'm trying to target. I get that exposure at cheap. Alexis Lafreniere one day will be on the Rangers' top power play unit. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe it's this year. Patrick Laine, I know some people want to criticize him, but all he does is clap bombs from his office. I don't care if it's the top unit, the second unit. He's going to go through his torrid, just scoring crazy goals at a crazy pace, and then he's going to get real cold at some point. But I think he can score 30 goals this season. Health being the number one thing. I really do. And then Schaefer, we're just going to find out what the Islanders want to do with him. He's the opportunity is there for him to take. I would let him run. I know it's tough for defensemen in the NHL because it's not about offense for these guys. They got to play well in their own zone. But you can shelter him. He doesn't have to be the guy who goes out there and plays 25 minutes a night. Make his life simple. He's a kid. He's got skill. Give him the easy power play minutes. Let him go out there, have some fun. I just hope Patrick Waugh doesn't kind of like the John Tortorella effect. I hope he doesn't saddle him down too much. Just
I think
let him go out there and play.
I think they're going to shelter him. Like you said, right now he's projected to be on the third pairing, which is I think a perfect place to put him. So that way you can just cherry pick the moment you put him out there. You got the offensive zone draw. He runs the power play. You're not going to put him on the penalty kill. Like you have plenty of guys that can do that. So yeah, if you play him the right way, that's a strong late round pick. Now, one of the ones I was looking at here when you're looking at some later round auto picks, Taylor Hall, who's going to be on the second line in Carolina. Again, not a ton of offense, but Hall is a trigger man. He's a guy they're going to feed the puck to shoot. So for a late round pick, I really like that. I loved your Lafreniere pick there. I really hope that's a huge value pick for you, and that's not by week 13 you're like, I guess I'm cutting him kind of situation.
Just a little bit of power play time. If anything, let him run on that top line. There is space for him to operate. There's a spot on that top power play unit with his name on it because I'm assuming the Rangers are going to run 4 forwards. My hope is that they stop running Zibanejad out there and they finally get somebody else, which is Alexis Lafreniere. So once they commit to that, then I think it'll be smooth sailing. But
so I'm
still waiting.
The projected power play unit for the Rangers, PP1, would be Miller centering Lafreniere, Panarin with Zibanejad and Fox on the points. That would be their top
check on the top unit. Okay,
he would be the second unit with Cooley, Brodzinski, Gabe Perreault, and Braden Schneider.
Oh, you see, swap Zibanejad with Trocheck. First of all, I think you should have 2 centers. Are they both lefty? Is that maybe why? I don't know, but I would have Trocheck's got to be on that first unit at least to take the face off.
I mean, maybe you're going for more of a balanced approach there. JT Miller obviously can, win draws too, but
Yeah, but
I hear what you're
if
saying.
he gets thrown out, now you got to throw Mika back in there. And I think the Rangers are going to commit to playing Zibanejad on the wing at some point. You saw him at what was it, at the World Championship? Was it the World Championships? Was it the Four Nations where he was playing the wing? And
Well, he was playing the wing with the Rangers for a little bit, and it was like, whoa, because that was right after he was in his funk, and that kind of got him out of it.
That's right, and that started to get him. Listen, it's hard to be a centerman just in general on like a Monday night at 10 p.m. So imagine in the NHL, there's so many defensive responsibilities as a center. Not to say a winger, you don't have as many, but there's less things you got to worry about. I think maybe it's time that they move Zibanejad to the wing. He'll always know how to take face-offs. So it's not the end of the world. You could have him on one side. You could have him take the face-offs on his strong side if you want to play him with, I don't know. I think Zibanejad's a lefty. So have a righty take the other side. That's it. Lots of teams do this, right? You have a guy who takes him on one side, a guy who takes him on the other side. Centerman can play the wing. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the Rangers at some point have to commit to having Mika Zibanejad on the wing. And the quicker they do it, the quicker that means Alexi Lafreniere can get top power play minutes.
I would agree. I agree. The sooner they just make that commitment, the better. Now, talking about, you went back before to have Eklund on the line with Celebrini. That all depends because, right now, if you're looking at daily faceoff, they don't have Misa on the roster. He plays, he's going to play center. Right now, they have Celebrini as the top line center, Will Smith as the second line center, but with Eklund on Celebrini's left side. But if Misa plays, Smith will probably go back to Celebrini's wing, and I could see them putting Eklund to have a 200-foot guy there to help the new guy out a little bit. The Sharks are going to have a million different line combinations this year. So
let's not forget Jeff Skinner is there too.
Tyler Toffoli's still there. Adam Gaudette, Philip Kurashev, Colin Graff, Alex Wenberg.
I think maybe Tyler Toffoli moves down the lineup a little bit. Like, let's not get it twisted. His foot speed's not there anymore. He can still score goals, but I don't think he's a top 6 player. He's probably he's a good third line kind of guy who can provide you a ton of offense. Jeff Skinner, I don't know why it didn't work in Edmonton. I don't know why Edmonton decided they didn't want to give him a shot because he's a good skater. He's got speed. He can keep up with the kids here. I just want William Eklund to play on the top line so I can benefit from it.
He's probably my favorite Shark to watch right now. He's not going to get the hype that Celebrini or Smith or any of these other guys are going to. He's probably 4th or 5th in that pecking order, but good player.